All right, so now that we have the basic geometry for the title block, now it's time to add the text. So we'll talk about text in another video, but for right now, we want to go up to the annotation tab, this little shortcut here. There are two different types of text that you can use. You have multi-line and single line. You want to make sure that you use multi-line. So click on multi-line. And this is like dragging out a box. So I'm going to be above my title block. I'm going to left click, drag out, and left click. It can be an arbitrary, doesn't have to be very specific, just as long as you get some space. And I'm going to put the word in title in all capitals. Put a colon in there as well. Once I have this typed, I'm going to use my cursor and I'm going to left click and hold and highlight everything so that it's highlighted in blue. And then I'm going to go up to the text height window, and clicking inside the text height window will highlight it. And I'm going to type in 0.075 and hit enter. And when you hit enter, you should see your text shrink down to the correct size. All right. Now, while I have this up, I'm going to use this diamond, and I'm going to left click on that diamond and just kind of shrink this text field because it doesn't need to be that big. Once I'm done typing, I'm going to left click outside of that box and it sets it up. All right. Now we're going to take this title and we're going to copy it. So select it first, left click on that text, Control C to copy, Control V to copy, and that's going to go right to your cursor. So now my job, I'm going to scroll using my scroll wheel. I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to tuck it in the corner, left click to place it. Zoom out using the scroll wheel. I'm going to do the same thing. Control V to paste. And I'm going to paste like that and can basically go to every single spot where you need the text. Control V and left click to place. If you're having issues, for instance, the text is being magnetized to a line, like for instance, right now you see the green triangle, that is the midpoint O snap. So if I were to left click at that point, it's going to snap to that green triangle. So if that's getting in your way, a couple things that you can do. You can zoom in a little closer, or you can hit F3 to turn off your O snaps. Okay, we'll do one more in here. All right, so now I've got this set. Now I'm going to go back up to my little placeholder up here. I'm going to double click. I'm going to highlight it. Once I highlight it, I'm going to go back up to the text height, click inside there once and type 0.100 and hit enter. So now I made this a little bit bigger. I'm going to left click outside. So now I've got larger text. So we've got labels. Then we're going to have the actual content. And then the last one is going to be really large, which is going to be the actual title. So now this is 0.100. I'm going to left click to select it once. Control C to copy. Control V. And I'm going to tuck it, Control V every single time into all of these little areas. There we are. And finally, I'm just going to take this one right here. I'm going to click on it once. I'm going to select this grip on the top left, and I'm going to drag it. Now you notice how it's dragging straight. That's because my ortho is on. F8. Okay. Or you can go right here to your ortho and turn that off. And now I can place it exactly where I need it to be. I'm going to lift it up a little bit. I'm going to double click on it because I need to change its size. I'm going to highlight it with my cursor. I'm going to go up to my text height and type 0.200 and hit enter. Left click outside to normalize your screen. All right, now that I have the placeholders all set, now my job is to double click into each one and to change the text. So we'll start on the bottom. I'm going to double click on this word title. There we are. I'm going to keep that colon, and I'm going to say school. Right? Make sure that it's all capitalized. This one is going to be date. Next one will be scale. This one here will be size. Moving into the middle, we've got drawn by. Now, if this happens, it runs onto a different line. All you need to do is take this little diamond grip and move it until it moves to a single line. And just left click outside of that. We're going to have the same thing here, I'm assuming. So we're going to change this to page/draw space number sign. Oh, that one went onto a second line. So I'm going to take this diamond and just slide it over. Left click outside. Now, any little overlap, you can click on an element and we're going to nudge. So I'm going to hold the control key and use the cursor arrows on my keyboard to nudge any selected elements. Do that down here. I'll use the nudge. I'll use the nudge here. Just to kind of clean this up a little bit. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to go into the actual data text. And I'm going to put a placeholder. So I'm going to put the pound sign or the number sign or the hashtag, however you want to call it. School. All right. We are here at HVCC, or Hudson Valley Community College. The title, or the date rather. The date, I like to use the International Standard. So we're going to use the International Standard and start with the day first. So today happens to be the 5th of September. So use the three first letters of the month, and then 2025. Now, again, running on different lines, I'm going to click on that little diamond and just make some more room. And I'm going to click in here and type in my name, Professor Phil. And scale. Scale for the meantime, we're going to say NTS, not to scale, because we don't know what the scale is going to be. And size, we're going to double click this, and size is right now going to be A size, but this could change. So A size, and I'll do a little nudge for that. And that takes care of all of the text. So now what we got to do is we have to transfer this. First of all, we have to put it on the correct layer. And we want to transfer this into our layout space. So the first thing that I want to do is I actually want to get this pretty close to my UCS. So we're going to move this. So I'm going to click outside, left click, release, and don't move. Then I'm going to select everything, left click, and I can actually use the nudge here. So I'm going to use control and the down arrows and the left arrow, all while holding control to get it pretty close to this X and Y. If I zoom in, let's see how close we are. That looks pretty good. If I've got maybe a couple of squares distance in there, then we're good. Okay, now, scary part, we're going to control X. So we're going to cut. Okay, control X. Basically, it takes it to the clipboard. Now I'm going to go to layout 1. Okay, I'm going to go to layout 1. And I'm going to control V, paste. I'm going to bring it over here into the gray space. Okay, so put it into the gray space. At this point, I'm going to select it again. So left click, release, drag. left click. Now it's selected. I'm going to go up into the title block layer and place it on the title block layer. It should turn all blue. Okay, you can hit escape to get out of that. And now you should see the blue title block. Now we've got some work to do here. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to set up my page or my paper to print to my printer. Okay, and the dotted line that you see is the printing boundary. So we got to change the printing boundary to match our printer. So the way to do that is we're going to right click, not left click, right click on the Layout 1 tab. Right click, and now I'm going to left click on the Page Setup Manager. And we're going to modify. Okay, we're going to set up the plotter. So if you have a different printer that you're going to be using, you want to set up your printer. In the classroom, we're going to use the 5225. It's going to be letter size. We're not going to change anything else. We're not going to change plot scale. We're not going to change scale. We're going to go up to the very top here to where it says plot style. Where it says none, we're going to change that to monochrome. And what that'll do is that any line work that we have in a variety of colors will all print out in black for right now. So I'm going to click OK. And you'll notice that the close and the printing boundary kind of changed a little bit. Hopefully it should match what your printer's natural boundaries are. All right, next. This little rectangle, this big rectangle, this box, that is the viewport. If you hover, right, don't click anything. If you hover, it should say viewport. Then you're going to select it. Left click once. We're going to go up to layers and we're going to put it on the VP layer. Click on VP and that should put it on the VP layer while it's selected. All right, I'm going to left click on this upper left grip and I'm going to drag, and I'm going to drag it both corners and make a little bit more room. Okay, and I'm going to hit escape. I'm leaving some space between the printing boundary and the viewport right now because I still have to enter the border. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go up to my layer and I'm going to change to the border layer and I'm going to use the rectangle tool. Click on the rectangle tool. Now this is a thicker one. So I'm going to left click somewhere inside my printing boundary and I'm going to move. All right, so this looks pretty good. I'm going to zoom out with my mouse wheel. Give me some space. I'm going to drag down. I'm going to zoom in with my mouse wheel to the bottom right corner. And I want to be close. I want to be close to the printing boundary, that dotted line. Left click. Now, if you need to make some adjustments, you want to make this a little bit cleaner. You have to be careful because there is a difference between the rectangle that we drew with the rectangle tool and the rectangle that is the viewport. Okay. So the blue rectangle, left click on that blue rectangle to select it. If you want to move it, use the center grip because if you use the end grip, corner grip, it's going to skew your border, and we don't want that. So I'm going to hit escape. So you want to use the center grip. Now, if you use the center grip, it can still skew, but you want to make sure your ortho is on. So that's F8, and that's going to ensure that you're pretty much going straight up and down. Now I'm going to zoom in really close and get as close as I can, making sure my mouse is not moving left or right because it's going to jump and skew. I want to make sure my mouse is directly straight up from that center grip. I'm going to bring it up, left click. Same thing here. I'm going to click on that center grip. I want to be moving to the left. Don't move your mouse down because it's going to skew it still a little bit. All right, now I'm going to hit escape and I can clean up my viewport line. This one, because it is the viewport, you can use the corners. I'm going to turn my F8 off so I can go directly to the corner. Otherwise, I'd have to do it 2 times. And hit escape when you're done. Last little bit, I have the grid here. This grid is basically looking into model space. I'm going to double left click inside, double left click, and you'll see the viewport highlighted. And all you're going to do is hit F7, and that turns off the grid. Okay, you could also go down here and just turn off the grid manually. That would be the button right there. That's F7. When you're done, you're going to double left click in the gray space. All right, and then that information should disappear from your window. All right, now the last little bit, we have to move this title block into the corner here. So I'm going to start from the top right. Click, release, don't move. Then move your mouse. Select everything here. And now we're going to type M for move. M, enter. And it should say specify base point. The base point is going to be the bottom right corner. So I'm going to look for that green endpoint, left click to select it, and now I'm moving the entire title block that's been selected. Okay. Because the base point that I selected was the bottom right corner, I'm going to tie it down to the bottom right corner of the border. So I'm going to look for that green box, that OSNAP. I'm going to left click. And now I've got my title block set where it needs to be. Last little bit here, and then this video will end, is we got to put in the logo. Now the logo is in the learning management system. So you can download the logo from there. Otherwise, if you're in the classroom, it's going to be on the G Drive. And what we need to do is after you download it, you're going to go to the Insert tab. Insert tab. You're going to go to the Attach. Okay, and we're going to find, this is, here's the logo here. Make sure that your file of type says drawing to filter out anything else. Usually it says image. We're not looking for an image, but you can, but we're looking for a drawing file. And you're going to find the HVCC logo for CAD. You're going to click open. We want to make sure that this is an attachment. We're keeping all the default information here. We're going to click OK. And I'm going to zoom into the bottom here, and my cursor is going to go to the bottom left corner, OSNAP, and then that logo should fit perfectly. Left click, place it, and now you've got the logo in with the title block. Once you're done, you're going to go up to save. Okay. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to change the file type to a template file, a DWT, right in the middle. When you click that, it's going to take you to the system folder where all the templates are held. And you're going to change the file name. You're going to call it inches. And you're going to hit save. You're going to get this little template options. All you have to do is click OK. And now you should see inches.dwt, which is your template file. First thing you want to do is X out of it, close it. Save changes. No, we didn't do any changes to this. And next time you start AutoCAD, you can go to the Start menu. You can go to New. You can go to Browse Templates. And here's that inches template. And I'm going to use that to open and start a new drawing. So now I've got drawing, in this case, drawing number 6. You might have drawing number 2. And I'm all ready to go. I've got my model. Go back to the Home tab. I've got my layers. And I'm all set for drawing in AutoCAD.